Welcome back. Officer Fetzer is here answering any questions about rules of the road with back to school just a few weeks away. So let's remind everyone, what do we need to do when watching out for with school getting ready to start? So let's just kind of start there. What are some things that folks need to be on the lookout for with school getting ready to start when we're talking about school zones?
Well, again, like I said earlier, I think, it's important to make sure that if you're driving or navigating in and around a school zone, to make sure that you're paying attention for pedestrian traffic and vehicles that are pulling in and out of the parking lot from side streets, or pulling in and out of the parking lot of the school, or pulling in and out of side streets. Just be aware of your surroundings when you're navigating through a school zone is just the most important thing.
And then again, what do we need to know about passing school buses?
So if when a school bus has their stop arm out and they have their lights on and they are stopped, either picking up or letting off children, then you have to stop. If you're approaching the school bus, you have to stop from any direction. But unless it's a 4-lane road that has a turn lane or a median that separates the 4 lanes, then traffic in the opposite direction that is approaching the school bus does not have to stop.
And there are consequences if you are caught passing a school bus. Can you again remind us about those?
Yes, well, if you pass a stop school bus and you're cited for that, that will generate the most points on your driver's license. I think it's 5 points that it generates on your driver's license.
Gotcha. And earlier, while in the break, you were talking about Operation School Watch. Talk about what that is.
So Operation School Watch, this is the 9th year that the Greensboro Police Department has implemented this. And basically what it is it's the first 2 weeks of school. There's a much heavier police presence in and around various school zones within the city. And basically what we're doing is we're just there to promote safety for pedestrians, safety for drivers in and around the school zone. But we are performing enforcement actions in the event that people are speeding or driving careless and reckless within the school zone. But basically what we use marked cars, unmarked cars, and we usually work the morning school zone times and the afternoon school zone times. And it's more or less a reminder to drivers to just be aware of where you are when you're driving through a school zone.
Yeah, so folks can expect to see that enhanced presence. So let's get back to our Q&A here. Someone also asked, do officers pull people over for texting and driving?
Yes, it is against the law to text and drive in the state of North Carolina.
Someone said, is the turn signal required when in a turn lane?
So this kind of goes back to the other person that asked about turn signals. If you're sitting at an intersection all by yourself and there's no other vehicles around, then no, you're not required to use your turn signal. But if there are other vehicles in the opposite direction or on either side of you, it's always best, and it is the law, to use your turn signal to let the other drivers know what your intentions are.
Can you turn right on red as long as the sign is not posted?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Who has the right of way in the parking lot? Someone backing out or driving down the lane?
So in a parking lot, we say that the right of way is usually given to the person that's not in the parking space. They're already traveling within the parking lot travel lane. So that person typically has the right of way versus somebody that's either pulling out or backing out of a parking space.
What is the most common traffic offense?
Speeding is the most common traffic offense.
Speeding, yeah. And we talked about earlier in the break as well too. I asked you about, making sure that kids maybe wear bright colored outfits. Is that something important for parents to do, or something to make them more noticeable when they're walking across the street or heading into school buildings?
I would definitely say if there was a situation where your child walks to school every day, to and from school every day, and has to cross a street or multiple streets, and there's not a lot of our elementary schools particularly have volunteer crossing guards that will assist kids back and forth across the street, but some don't. And if your child is going to go unassisted without a parent or guardian and walking to school and having to cross the street, then I would recommend, certainly dress them in something that is a little more visible to drivers that are approaching as they cross the street.
All right. Well, thank you so much. If you missed anything today, head over to WFMYnews2.com or the WFMY YouTube page for a full recap.